For further background about this webinar series in general, and today's topic in particular, I would like to introduce our colleague, John Wucher. At this point, we are now at number 4, the presentation using what we're calling a modified success analysis protocol. We are very thankful that Bob and Judah have agreed to present cases related to the issues that we talked about that John introduced a few minutes ago. The way this is going to work is each presenter is going to have up to 5 minutes to present their case. They all happen to have PowerPoint presentations, which they will be showing you. After they finish their presentations, we're going to ask only for clarifying questions after the presentation. Then after after we finish with the clarifying questions, we are going to ask you as the audience to reflect upon what it is that you've heard, how you would define the success that these people are highlighting in their particular presentation of what they have done to deal with the issue of either leading without authority, or basically how they, as people who run central agencies, interface and interact with other organizations and other people with whom they come into contact in efforts to improve the quality of Jewish education. So Bob, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Then I'm with you.
Okay, so Bob, I'm the one who has your PowerPoint, so will you tell me when you're ready for me to start it, or how you want to do it?
Okay. All right, let's go.
Okay. Whoops, wrong PowerPoint.
There you go. All right. So, when the BJE of New York began to work on its out of its new strategic plan, the central concept that was to shift the whole direction of the agency was captured in the little statement, from service to leadership. As many of you, I don't know if everybody's aware, but we have just to set out at the beginning here, we have just completed officially the merger with Sages, so we are now BJENY Sages officially as of yesterday. So, but I'm not going to talk about the merger very much today. This shift in going from service to leadership required really the need to reassess what it meant to lead altogether. Because the idea of leading, I think, out of a service model is significantly different from what it might mean to lead out of what we define as a new kind of leadership model. We interpreted leadership as really our capacity to move the needle, to be change agents, and the next slide, Steve, to create networks that could spark and spread sustainable innovation, resulting in more meaningful and engaging Jewish educational experiences for children, teens, and families. Operating out of the service approach, which I think a lot of the agencies have in the past, basically seems to be operating out of a kind of expert model. And in the expert model, the agency provided a whole set of valued services ranging from different kinds of convening of educators, delivering of conferences, providing of curriculum resources, on-the-spot consultation, professional development, et cetera, et cetera. In the leadership approach, we changed our whole focus and basically are operating now, third slide, out of a network-driven model. The network-driven model, through the network-driven model, we build collaborative networks, and through these networks we source ideas, we bring out ideas, mine ideas, move knowledge, cultivate creative thinking, and work to continuously infuse the network with new resources. I think a nice way of capturing the difference in this approach, Steve, in the next slide, is the story of the way Apple worked to create the iPod. And without going through the whole story, essentially, it was not an idea that it didn't work as the result of a single expert sitting, or even a small group of experts sitting together in a room and coming up with it. It actually was the result of working both within Apple, across a great many of the, if you will, departments that do the work there, as well as bringing in expertise from the outside. So the way that was captured by the author Rob Cross is that Apple's network strategy depends not only on hiring and promoting for individual brilliance, but also on asking leaders to mobilize networks of relevant expertise, resources, and decision-making authority. And that kind of, I think, captures in a nice way the type of approach we began to think about and have attempted to begin to implement in our work. For us, innovation occurs through networks that bring people together, as well as ideas and resources, in order to achieve a common purpose and a shared vision. So some of the characteristics of the innovation network, as we think about it, is that the network organizes around a unifying purpose and vision, that it relinquishes control in any particular from any particular place, and embraces a kind of interdependent model. And I'll come back to that a little bit later, because that poses a lot of challenges for us. It effectively and efficiently moves knowledge and skill to where it is needed within the network. It continuously learns and adapts as new knowledge is accessed. It's a culture of openness and experimentation, and it communicates and celebrates successes. So the way that became manifest, one way it became manifest in the organization, I mean, it's really played out in a lot of different areas of our work, but the one way I'm going to focus on a little bit today is in the area of congregational education. And the network there is comprised of the funders of BJENY SAGES, and of the whole enterprise, the schools, what we call the ERPs, the educational resource providers. These are independent entrepreneurial resource providers such as Teva and Chazon and organizations like that have become part of the network. Consultants whom we have hired but who come from outside the agency, a group of partnership organizations which includes the Experimenting Congregational Education and the Leadership Institute of the Jewish Theological Seminary and Hebrew Union College, and our own staff. And by our own staff, it's not just the staff that work on congregational education. The staff from the agency as a whole comes in and out of this network at different times.